I ain't selfish, nah. The story flip if I let you tell it. Put my heart and soul in so you feel it. I ain't never faking, I'm the realest since Tupac in imprisonment, claiming his innocence. Currently, I'm the greatest rapper in a sense. But any currency, I'm still guaranteed my wins. This is coming from within, I stuff for real, I don't pretend. When the OG spilling knowledge, bet it's best you soak it in. I'm a prophet to them scholars, got them chakras opening. Got them fixing up they octaves, now they truly focused in. I'm seeing 2020 visions. Daily manifesting on my premonitions. Best to keep it neutral, got my own religion. The brainwash, gotta make your own decision. My word is James Bond, I stay on a mission. Coming for the top position, ain't no competition, man. Pull up in the top is missing, the opposition ain't. All that lane switching, this is what the game is. It's the young, incredible, honestly unforgettable. You a joke like Chappelle show. This so perennial, do this for my millennials. I be murdering any flow. I just had to let you know. It's the young, incredible, honestly unforgettable. You a joke like Chappelle show. This so perennial, do this for my millennials. I be murdering any flow. I just had to let you know.
I'm the coach. You're locked into the NFL on EA Sports. Up next, we've got a good one on tap between the visiting Houston Texans and the Baltimore Ravens. I'll have scores around the league for you at the half, but it's time for a little football. So we'll hand it over to our broadcast team, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Coach, thanks. CA Sports coverage of the NFL brings us to the Inner Harbor and M&T Bank Stadium here in Baltimore, Maryland. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the Houston Texans and the Baltimore Ravens. Brandon Gaudin and Charles Davis on hand, and this is a game where the defenses, they need to be on their toes because you've got quarterbacks here, yes, that can throw the football, but they can also run it very well too.
Mobile quarterbacks. Remember, for the longest time, they used to tell the quarterbacks, stay in the pocket. We don't want you outside of it at all. Nowadays, that mobility, truly an asset, and people are game planning for it. As a scout told me recently, we are actually working with what the colleges are giving us nowadays.
A couple of 2-1 teams set to square off, and we're underway here in NFL Week 4. That's fielded in the end zone. And he'll take this up past the 20 and down at the 22-yard line. So now the Ravens getting ready for their first go on offense. They'll be led out by the final pick of the first round in 2018 out of Louisville. It's Lamar Jackson.
And you and I both know that any win is a good win, and that's what they did last week. But there's also plenty for him to work on in his game, wasn't there?
Yeah.
2 touchdowns, an interception. Yeah, you know, he wants to increase that a little bit in terms of ratio. But first and foremost, they did win the game.
A little jet sweep to start the drive. And they're able to get this one across the 35. They get 14 on that one. That's good for a Baltimore first down.
And while we're seeing more and more of these plays come from the college game into the NFL, and that one, it was run with great success, how about the evolution of the offensive linemen? We're seeing less and less big guys who can't move, and more guys who are a lot more mobile and can get out in front of that type of a play.
It'll be a loss of 1, and that'll bring up a 2nd and 11. On 2nd and 11 now, Jackson. That's caught by the former Sooner, Mark Andrews. 8 yards on the completion, but now they face third down.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before.
Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Zach Cunningham with a pick, and he will return this one to the 30-yard line. certainly not how they envisioned ending their opening drive here in the first quarter.
Too many ones in this play. First quarter, first drive, first interception thrown.
And that last one, that hurts. So 1st and 10 now from the 30. After the interception, here's Watson. And that is incomplete. He couldn't hold on through the contact. Brings up 2nd down.
Defensively here, you're facing a top 5 team in terms of points scored in the NFL. So when they're that high-powered, you've got to find a way to hold them under 20. Because to me, that's the magic number. 20 points scored, you give yourself your best chance to win.
So if they're up around 24, 28, 30, they could be in some trouble.
And I think so, because then you turn it into a shootout, and that means your offense has to keep pace.
They'll run for the first time with Peyton Barber. They showed off a nice juke of the defender before the next wave could bring him down. It's a 6-yard pickup, but it gets him to 2nd and 4. Now a play fake, and it's Watson. Looking end zone, but it's incomplete. Jordan Thomas, the one he was looking for, and it's 3rd and 4. Now they face a 3rd down and 4 after that incompletion on 2nd down. From the gun, here's Watson. And got his man. It's caught. Touchdown, Houston. Kenny Stills, his 2nd touchdown on the season. As his guys are able to strike first here in this opening quarter. Extra point splits the uprights, and it's now a 7-0 game. The drive summary that time, 5 plays, and it results in the Texans finding the end zone. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And he'll be brought down at the 23, make it the 24. Yard line. Now the Baltimore offense heading back out onto the field. They had the interception last time. It led to the opening touchdown. So now 7-0 the score as they start 1st and 10. They get 14 on that one. That's good for a Baltimore first down.
Well, partner, for a few years there, we thought this read option play was going to take over the whole NFL. It seemed like everyone was using it, but it has been scaled back considerably in the last few seasons, mainly because people are worried about their quarterbacks getting hit. But when you called it the right time and you use it properly, you see the type of gains you can get. A nice chunk of yardage there by the quarterback.
And as a defensive end, getting off the ball quickly, swarming to the football, making a tackle, that's what we saw right there.
Yeah, and that's what their job is. And really, a lot of the time, they have to throttle back a little bit in the run game because you know those defensive ends, they're like in a sprinter stance. They're just headed straight for the quarterback. That was good recognition on that play to hold them to no gain.
On the defensive side here, the starters for the Texans. This crew against the pass, issues at times, ranked number 24, Charles, in the NFL.
When they lack in pass defense, they do make up for in run defense. They're a top 10 unit against some people trying to move the ball on the ground. But this is a passing league, so there's a conundrum for them. How do they get better defending the pass?
Now it's Jackson, complete. Smith has it. And they're going to mark him down short, maybe by about a yard, if that.
So much about offense is what you call hidden yardage. You know, you throw the ball to someone, they catch it, and then they can make a big play. You know, they create a play, run after catch. They did a really nice job there of limiting that and keeping him from a first down.
Yeah, stopped him in his tracks. Needing the tough yards, they run it with their fullback. And he will have the first down as he's brought down up near midfield. A big roll of the dice on 4th and 1, but it pays off. They convert. A first down carry for Smith. He's got the first down and more inside the 40. And all the way down to the 33-yard line. A big one there for the Ravens. It goes for 18.
Tremendous blocking by the interior of the offensive line. They didn't just gash him there. They blasted a gaping hole for him to gallop through. I think if he comes back to the huddle, he better be giving them a whole lot of credit and thanking them for that much space to rumble.
They keep it with Smith on first down. Down to the 30 after a gain of 3. The numbers there in last week's game for Smith. 21 carries, 63 yards.
And we all know he had a big workload last week, so I'm eager to see if they decide to back him off a little bit. Personally, I hand it to him 20-plus times again. When a running back's locked in like he is, I want him to keep touching the football.
This pass complete. Jackson finding Andrews. And they do get him down, but not before he's able to slip it inside the 5-yard line. A good pickup there, 26 yards. And they'll be driven back here, losing yardage to the 9. It's a loss of 4 on the first down play. We become so accustomed to it, you sort of take it for granted.
You really do, but he is so good that every team in his division, every year, is trying to make sure they draft people charged with trying to block J.J. Watt. So far, hasn't been too successful.
Got a man, it's Brown. And from the 9, they get this to the 5-yard line. That time the completion goes for 4 yards, and we're set up with a 3rd and goal. This has been a long drive. You got to figure a field goal would be a letdown. Can they convert now on 3rd and goal? And this is caught. Touchdown, Baltimore. Josh Reynolds, his first touchdown on the year, as his guys are on the board here in this first quarter. Bouncing back nicely from that bad opening drive where he threw the interception. Drive number 2 leads him right down the field and into the end zone.
So obviously his confidence was never lost, and that's a good thing to see. Great quality to have. You absolutely must maintain that as a quarterback. But I have to think that they're probably still on the script that they prepared for this game. Just the second drive. They've worked on these plays all week in practice. Put them to good use on that one.
This is fielded a couple yards deep. And he'll take it back to about the 19-yard line. The Texans offense ready to go here for their next drive. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked. But you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
So mark off the yardage for roughing the passer.
And I've seen this before. On a screen pass, not only are you rushing the passer, you're rushing him deeper than normal. And I think a little frustration kicks in at the end. You're going to hit him anyway when you shouldn't.
From the gun, a run for Johnson. And he will lose yardage back to the 34-yard line. And that sends him 2 yards in the wrong direction and leads to 2nd down. And this should be the final play before the quarter ends. On 2nd and 12, Watson. He's got Fuller. After one, a 1-point game, 7-6. Throwing on 3rd down, Watson going deep for Hopkins. And he can't hang on to it. Nearly picked. He's known for his hands defensively, but instead it just brings up 4th down.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on 3rd down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. 3rd down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
And now Baltimore gets set to take the field. Jackson and the Ravens come up now 1st and 10 at their own 12-yard line. They'll start on the ground. It's Ito Smith. And running room scarce here. He's going to be stopped in his tracks at the line of scrimmage. Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd down. Looking to throw on 2nd down. Jackson, and this one complete to Smith. And he's able to get this one all the way past the 30. That one good for 20 on the catch and run.
And this is why trying to cover the angle route is so difficult. Anyone playing the linebacker position, when they see a running back out of the backfield widen because he heads towards the flat first, oftentimes you widen too much and overcommit. He cuts up inside, and that's what we saw there. A nice pickup for a 1st down.
25 yards there on the catch and run.
Slant route's effective no matter who's running the route and catching the ball. But when you have a receiver of that stature, you have to be a little bit more precise throwing it. You don't have the same catch radius with the bigger targets.
And Andrews lost the football. And the Texans scoop it. And his guys are going to get the football at the 37-yard line.
The psychology of the game never ceases to amaze me because you would think there would never be a fumble from what we hear from coaches all the time, right?
And how much they practice not fumbling.
Practice it, preach it, talk about it all the time. You would think no one would ever turn it over. Yet they are humans out there running around, and we just saw another one.
Opportunistic by the defense.
After reviewing the play, the ruling on the field is reversed.
On 2nd down now, it's Smith. And this time not quite to the 30. It'll be down at the 31-yard line. 7 yards there and a 1st down. Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. From the gun, Jackson. That's into the hands of Reynolds. 10 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down.
You can see the time and effort and thought that they put into their passing game because it was evident right there. It looks like a simple pitch and catch, but you and I both know that they have planned for this and worked hard to make it happen.
And he'll take it down here just shy of the 15 at the 16-yard line. 6 yards the pickup, and that's a 1st down. And he's brought down just outside of the 10 at the 11. It'll be a pickup of 5 on the keeper. It's 2nd down. This time Jackson will throw it. And it's caught. And he's able to get it down to the 2-yard line. His first catch, good for 9 and a 1st down. On 1st and goal, Collins. And he will take it in for a Ravens touchdown. Alex Collins, his first touchdown on the year. And the Ravens have taken the lead. And there you go, nothing really too complex. Block, keep to your assignments, let them run it in. They did it.
Fundamental football. Good blocking, beats good tackling on that play. End result, touchdown.
Now he's back out there to boom this one away, maybe with some frustration after the PAT miss. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. And now out comes Houston. And they're coming off a 3-and-out, my friend.
I think they've got to look at that play sheet and go to a spot that they haven't gone before. Time to shake things up a little bit to try and get this offense moving.
Okay, so how do you do that? How do you shake things up?
You look at what you called before, realize it hasn't worked
Go to something else.
and maybe you try and find one of those special plays from one of your better players, and maybe try and hit something big and get things going in the excitement area.
The first down carry here for Johnson. And across midfield he goes into Raven territory. It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4. From just shy of midfield, Watson, and finding the tight end Hooper. And he'll get it down here to the 43. Now after the completion, we're going to get a timeout, an injured player. Well, he gets attended to. We'll step aside. And he's dropped right at the 40. Gain of 3.
The goal of a wide receiver screen is get enough blockers in front to create a wall and let him pick his spot to run the football. How about the defense there, swarming to it and not allowing that to happen? Did not let him get downfield.
And he only manages a couple here down to about the 38-yard line. From the gun on 3rd, Watson going deep for Hopkins. That's going to be caught. And he's in. Touchdown, Houston. DeAndre Hopkins, his first touchdown on the year. And the Texans have retaken the lead. So on 3rd and medium, they dial up the pass, and it works to hit the end zone.
And it's really not a surprise to me. That's a throwing down in the NFL because of how tough it is to run the football. But what offenses like to do is still show run formations to make them respect it and throw out of those. In this case, they took a nice shot at the end zone and made it pay off.
Come on, baby. Let's go.
The Baltimore offense at the line, set to get going.
Here we go, D. All day. Defense all day. Let's go. Come on. Check 37. Mark 55. Mark 55.
They begin with a run by Smith. He'll get a nice chunk there on the first down run, and it's 2nd and 4.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
Now a clash of bodies here, and it's intercepted. Zach Cunningham with a pick. You don't see this often. A quarterback of his caliber, 2 first-half interceptions.
It's absolutely surprising because it happens so rarely. You're searching for what reason, what's going on out there. It's not just maybe the defense is playing well. Is his horoscope off? His biorhythms? What is it?
You went horoscope on us, David.
Well, I was thinking maybe REM sleep was off. I'm trying to come up with something.
Anything, right? Now the Texans will burn the first of their timeouts, as they'll stop it with just over a minute to go before halftime. So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. A shotgun snap for Watson. That's caught over the middle. Hooper. And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8. 2nd and 2. Now the Texans will use one of their 2 remaining timeouts, as the stoppage will come with a little under a minute to go in this first half. Facing a 2nd and 2 after that last catch, good for 8 yards. Dumping it off for Johnson. And he'll get it down this time to the 17.
As a passer, you're always trying to find that open window to throw the ball downfield. How about this one? Right in the middle of the field, right in the heart of the defense.
Here's Watson. And he's going to have the hook up to QT. Give him a couple on the catch. It's 2nd and 8. So 2nd and 8 here after the pass play for 2 yards on first down. Watson looks to throw again. That's complete right around the 8. And all the way down inside the 5 to the 4. It's a 10-yard gain there to set him up 1st and goal.
That was a route run not just with dexterity, but with intelligence. found the hole in the zone, made sure the quarterback saw him, and was able to make the sure catch and flip the down marker back to 1.
Again, it's Watson. Under pressure now, and he's going to go down. Sacked back around the 8. They'll try again here from the 7 on 2nd and goal. So we have reached halftime here in a tight 2-point contest. As we'll send you down to Orlando, we check in with Jonathan Coachman for our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
All right, Brandon, we'll get back to you guys in a bit. But first, time for a trip around the league on this final weekend of September. We'll begin our tour out at Nissan Stadium in Nashville, where it was definitely a game with some intrigue, as you can see by the scoreline. Ben Roethlisberger leading the way in the victory with 3 touchdown passes. From there, we head over to the West Coast. Check out the Niners at home at Levi Stadium. And you can see they trail the visiting Cowboys. Dak Prescott has thrown a touchdown pass. Finally, let's get down to Miami to see what's going on with the Dolphins. And they were losers in that one to the visiting Cincinnati Bengals. 25-14 was your final score. In the game you're watching is Deshaun Watson, who was the star of the first half. His guys have the lead, as we'll hand it back over to our commentators, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. It's the Texans in front, and they're going to get the football first as we are back underway in the third quarter. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. So here are the Texans to take over. Last week, good result. They were able to beat the Detroit Lions, and now they are on the good side of the scoreboard right now as well. Watson will bring up the Texans here, 1st and 10 at their own 25. And pressure coming, and they got him once again. Marching in for the sack, Matthew Judon.
Well, partner, we know they came out of the locker room down on the scoreboard, but I will guarantee you the defensive side of the ball gets super emotional. They can come out and play with aggressiveness, with fury, because they don't have to be quite as precise, and it paid off for them on that play, didn't it?
Sure did. Excellent play, really setting the tone for this third quarter. Call it a 3-yard gain, but they'll be forced into a 3rd and 15 coming up. The Ravens bring out an extra defensive back here on 3rd. Out of the gun, Watson. Underneath for Johnson. And he will get him down a couple yards shy of the first down marker. A nice tackle coming up from his free safety spot. It's a pickup of 13, but they're still a bit short, and it'll be 4th down.
That's certainly playing down in distance very well by the defense, isn't it? Take whatever you want underneath, by all means.
Give them 11 yards that time on the return. And the Ravens, they'll take over. The Ravens offense getting ready now for their first possession of the second half. They trail offense, first time to touch the ball in quarter 3, and we'll see what they can do.
And I can't wait to see what they have planned, because some teams script to start a half. Other teams just go, okay, these are the sequence of plays we want to run. These things worked well for us. And sometimes they throw in that big chunk play right away.
Shocker.
Try and get after them early and try and create a big play to give themselves some momentum.
See what they have up their sleeve. They try to throw on second down, but this one is incomplete. They head to the line facing a 3rd and 7 following the incompletion on second down. They'll set up the screen to Smith. And he will have first down yardage as he's brought down at the 41. 9 yards on the pickup there, and it keeps the drive alive.
Let's give a little credit there. The offensive play caller sensed that the screen pass was available. Whenever you're getting a lot of heavy pressure towards your quarterback, that's when you're thinking about running the screen and using that pressure against the defense. And it worked very well there for a first down.
Yeah, give him 4 yards there. It'll be 2nd and 6. Staying on the ground. This time it's Smith. Trying to bounce it outside, but he's only able to get it back to the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play there, so they're left with a 3rd down and 6. They're down here in the 3rd quarter, trying to get something going. Going to the outside there didn't work out, though.
Yeah, and from the cheap seats and from where you and I are sitting, we did pay a pretty good price to get in here, right? You often wonder to yourself, why do you make that type of a call? That one went for no gain. But I think this offense thinks to itself, if we keep running these plays, eventually something may pop. It just didn't on that one. Good route, good pickup for 1st down yardage, and that is a tough one to cover, the angle route, because a running back getting out of the backfield, if you're trying to cover that, especially if you're in the linebacker spot, and you're seeing this play develop, he heads out towards the flat first, and that often gets you to overcommit running in that direction. Then he cuts back up inside you into the middle of the field. That's what we just saw there for a nice pickup.
Here's a throw that's taken in out of the backfield. And he's going to be taken down with another 1st down as the stop's made at the Texans' 28. Jackson now 14 out of 17, 82%, and it's 1st and 10. They'll go with Hill here on 1st down. Try to find a lane, but instead he'll get back to the line of scrimmage and no more. Throwing on 2nd down, Jackson. And this one taken in on the right sideline, but not in the field of play. They say it's incomplete. The throw led him a little too far. It brings up 3rd down. Big play coming up. Here's 3rd and 10.
I would expect to see some pressure here.
The pressure drops off as they'll look to throw. And that will be incomplete.
They went with the dime look that time on defense, just flooded the field with defensive backs, blanketed everyone, took away all the passing angles, thus the incompletion.
Tucker's kick is good. And with that, they move ahead by a point here in this 3rd quarter. A dozen plays on that drive that ends with the field goal.
Let's go ahead and break out some of the old chestnuts here, right, partner? Keep the ball in front, rally to it, and make the tackle, right? No big plays given up, no balls over your head. Bend, don't break.
Hold on. Chestnuts?
You like
Come
that
on,
one?
what does that mean, break out? That just because you break chestnuts?
I'm not sure about that, but I'm just going with why they said that. I have no idea.
Out comes a Houston offense as they get set to take over here. And a tight game after punting last time. See if they can get something going on this drive.
As they head to the field now, with the game this close, you've got to feel there's a sense of urgency for them going on offense right now. But they have to do it without letting panic creep in and affect their play.
Now the first play of the drive there is incomplete. We have not seen a whole lot of wide-open receivers. Everything seemingly has been contested.
And that's another nice job there to force an incompletion. They've been very cohesive, knowing each other's moves all game long, and they've been on the spot just about every time.
And they've held them in check on the scoreboard. 19 yards to pick up there. Move the chains. Watson now 13 out of 17 throwing the ball. He's got a 1st down. Running from the gun, Johnson. And a good pickup there. He gets about 6 up to midfield.
He's had a ton of success here so far, but you get the feeling that he might be on the verge of popping one.
Yeah, even on that one, there was a little bit of a hole, but it closed there quickly at the end. They go to Johnson again. Slipped one tackle, but no more as he's knocked to the deck behind the line of scrimmage. He lost 2 there, and it's 3rd down. And on 3rd down, a nickel formation here defensively. Operating from the gun, Watson. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete.
I think he had to unload that one before he wanted to. He was right up in his grill. I think he was a dentist there without a license, don't you?
Just not enough time for the play to develop. Just lucky it wasn't a fumble, really. And not what he was hoping for there, as this will hit in the end zone for a touchback. The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. And they split the uprights last time for 3. They've got the lead. They're not going to play this conservative. They're not hoping for another field goal. They're hoping for a touchdown.
I'm with you on that one. I like where your head is. I like the way you're thinking because you're exactly right. Trying to sit on a lead and play that way, that doesn't work too well for most teams. Run your offense. Run what you do best. Exactly. Put it all the way down and try to increase your lead in a big way. And the best way to do it, touchdowns.
The tally there, -2 yards, brings up 3rd down. A pass for negative yardage, obviously no good. Maybe he shouldn't have thrown it, or maybe he shouldn't have caught it.
And I think we were seeing it at the same time, weren't we? Maybe you let that one go, right? Because you can see the lost yardage about to develop. But that goes against every instinct of a receiver. They're taught to catch everything. So it's really hard to be mad at him and yell at him for trying to make that play.
Back now in Baltimore. And we've got a dandy here. A 1-point game as we begin the 4th. Jackson now. A perfect 8 for 8 to start the second half. Not bad. 1st and 10. Here's Smith as he'll try to run some clock. The ball comes out.
Wow. That ball gets knocked free. But a teammate comes along and scoops it up. It's almost like baseball. Guys at bat, people are on base in scoring position. One guy doesn't get him home. The next guy comes through and picks him up.
And avoids the turnover. Benardrick McKinney there to make the stop.
It's now 2nd and 6 at the 36-yard line.
On 2nd down, here's Smith. And he'll be upended at the 33 following a gain of 3. And guess what? It brings up 3rd down. The Ravens on 3rd down. They've hit 4 of 7. This time it's 3rd and 3. To throw is Jackson. They set up the screen to Hill. Probably the only thing he did wrong there was go out of bounds, nursing this 4th quarter lead. You want to stay in, eat the clock.
Yeah, you got to love the effort, the catch, the extra yardage, but you got to know the situation. Stay in bounds, young man.
They'll run on 1st down. Smith, and able to surge forward for about 5 yards down to the 10. Well, with the fumble he had earlier, we know how key keeping the football is here. That fumble earlier probably at the forefront of his mind. Just hold on to this thing.
It's also at the forefront of the mind of the guys who are trying to get the ball from him. And since they've seen him drop it on the ground before, they're doing everything possible to have him do it again. They need that turnover. And on this play, the read for the quarterback was the defensive end, and he was totally focused on the quarterback. He should have given it off inside to the running back. Instead, he kept it and ended up taking a loss on the play.
Now it's Jackson. And look at this. They get the turnover they needed. It's intercepted. Picked off inside the 10. How about the big boys snagging one? You don't see that every week.
No, you don't, but a lot of them are just reliving their old dreams, going back to when they were in youth football and in high school. They didn't always play defensive line. Some of them actually handled the football, and you can see the flashback when he grabbed that one.
A pickup of 11 and a Texans 1st down. Charles, this one not over, certainly, but you set the magic number earlier in this game at 20 points. Said that they would need to hold them right around that marker under it. What are you seeing here?
Well, that number is still in play because we said, okay, 20 or under gives them a chance to win. Right on pace for being in that range. And guess what? They've got a shot.
So signs of life in what's been a dormant offense in this second half. Here's 1st and 10. Now it's Watson. Open man is QT, complete. And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35. 2 chunk plays in a row. The last one was over 20 yards, and so is this one. Watson now perfect since the second half started. 7 of 7. It's 1st and 10. Back to throw, Watson. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Chris Jones in there to get him, and on the season now, that is 9 sacks for him.
He's the NFL sack leader coming into the game, and now that's 2 more that he's added to his total.
He wants some separation from spot 1 and 2 in that sack category. Now this one to his running back out of the backfield. And he'll go down shy of the 40 at the 41. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. You're tackling them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Chris Jones has now recorded 10 sacks on the season. He is proving his worth defensively. Getting the sack here, that comes after being named the AFC Defensive Player of the Week for his performance in last week's game.
He's stacking games together, isn't he? I mean, you just mentioned what he did the previous week to be named AFC Defensive Player of the Week, continuing to play at that level. And when you get that kind of confidence going, those kind of guys are hard to stop.
The Baltimore offense at the line, set to get going. And 3 interceptions in this game. And I would have to think, I wasn't a quarterback, but number 4 is kind of, you're like, oh, man, I can't throw 4.
No, what's interesting is, what do the coaches decide to do now? Having thrown 3, do you alter your offensive strategy? Do you take the ball out of his hands and maybe turn to the running game? Or do you have that supreme confidence that he's going to turn things around?
We'll see what they do.
Check.
On the ground, this is Smith. Bradley Roby, the quarterback, there to make the stop. Now, the objective there, I mean, yes, the positive gain, that's nice, but work some clock.
Yeah, you're exactly right, but the problem for them is still within a possession, so they can't just sit on it running the ball. They'll have to find a way to throw it effectively as well.
So it's Raven football here as we welcome you back. They've got a second down now as they search for a way to get this one to the finish line. And he's going to have to protect the football and take his lumps here at this stage of the game as they stop him behind the line. And now right out of the 2-minute break, we'll get a timeout used defensively with 1:56 to go. Now this is a big 3rd down, and you'd have to think we'd see a timeout right away if they can't stop him here. Throwing now is Jackson. The open man is Smith. And he'll have it past midfield almost to the 40 before being taken down. Now the Texans will use one of their 2 remaining timeouts, and they'll be disappointed to have to burn one there after giving up the 1st down. Well, not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. They'll try and run some clock here as they keep it on the ground. And he's taken down inside the 30. The Texans going to signal for their 3rd and final timeout as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. We saw a number of good games earlier today. This one might top all of those. It's been a dandy as we come up on 1st and 10. Now Ito Smith. And he's able to get it to the edge of the red zone at the 20-yard line. 10 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down.
Boy, where would these guys be without his performance on the ground? That puts him over 100 yards now for the afternoon, and I tell you, he seems to be getting stronger as the day goes along.
On 2nd down, it's Smith, and they've got it inside the 10 at the 8. It'll go as a gain of 12, and that should just about wrap this one up.
Do my eyes deceive me, or is he getting stronger as this game moves along?
Burst seems just as good here in the 4th as it was way back in the 1st, doesn't it?
I do believe someone put a lot of time in the offseason and continues to condition during the season in order to continue to carry the ball at this rate.
They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And they'll be driven back here, losing yardage to the 9. It's a loss of a yard there, and it's 2nd down. Now from the 9, here's 2nd and goal. So the final seconds tick away in this Baltimore victory, and they were really helped by their defense, forcing 3 turnovers.
I think what we saw in this one, today's defense. And what I mean by that is in the old days, pitching shutouts was big time. That was paramount. But the big thing was holding people down, holding down their yardage, right? Don't let them throw the ball through the air and gain a lot of... But now, it's about taking the ball away. Taking away possessions, getting the ball back for their offense. They had 3 takeaways in this one, and it led them to victory.
So for the Ravens, they're on a nice early roll.